Hey guys, this is Frozen Dig Steers here, and welcome back to another movie review. And today I'm going to be doing a review on Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. So, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation is the fifth entry in the Mission Impossible franchise. Came out in the year 2015 and is directed by Christopher McQuarrie, and it stars Tom Cruise, Rebecca Ferguson, Jeremy Renner, Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames, Sean Harris, Alec Baldwin, etc. And so the plot for this movie, it tells the story of the IMF being temporarily shut down due to a bunch of events that are very questionable, that caused the CAA chief to pretty much disavow to be displeased with anything that they're doing. Ethan Hunt still determined to to keep the IMF the way it is. Must take down this rogue organization called the Syndicate, who are anti-IMF, and they want to take down the IMF. So Ethan Hunt and his team and the new member, Ilsa Faust, must work together to be able to destroy the syndicate. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure you guys remember my Mission Impossible reviews, like I did earlier this month, leading out to Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part One. Yeah, there's like I reviewed the first four of these, from the first film to the fourth film. Yeah, I was originally supposed to review the two latest ones, this and the Fallout. Unfortunately, though, due to some personal things like I had to face, I was not able to review. I was not able to review this one and Fallout. And Rogue. I mean, I could have had time to review Fallout, but unfortunately, and also considering that I actually ended up seeing that Dead Reckoning in theaters earlier than I expected. Earlier than I expected. Yeah. That was something. Yeah, but I'm still determined to rewatch this and Fallout. Since they were the two movies that had the same director Ghost Pro as Dead Reckoning. It actually I felt a little disappointed in me that I wasn't able to review the Christopher McQuarrie movie, since now but now originally my plan was to review these both, this and Fallout, leading up to Dead Reckoning Part Two next year, but I mean that was way too long. However, I had the I thought it was a really good time to review this, considering that today is Mission Impossible Fallout's fifth anniversary. So yeah, happy fifth anniversary to Mission Impossible Fallout. Yes, I will most certainly review that movie, but right now let's just get to Rogue Nation first, while I have the chance to. When it comes to Rogue Nation, though, this was actually the first Mission Impossible movie I ever saw in cinemas. Yeah, I still remember the day when I saw this movie in cinemas. And not knowing anything about this franchise. Yeah, this was literally my introduction to the Mission Impossible franchise. But I mean, of course, well, I went in knowing that this isn't really a continuation. That this is just a new story taking place within. Like, it doesn't have any connections to the previous film, so I would understand it. I'll admit that yes, I was a little confused by the plot, because I was just 11 years old when I saw this, and this was literally my introduction to the franchise. So of course I wouldn't really know much about it, but yeah, when I saw that, but even though I didn't really get into the story, I still really had a lot of fun watching this movie. It was just an absolute blast, especially with all the action scenes. So this was my first time seeing a pure action movie. The action movies that I mostly saw are just superhero movies, but I still got a chance to see this one as my introduction to the pure action genre, like its respective genre. And this was also the first, I believe this was the first Tom Cruise movie I ever saw. It was either this or Edge of Tomorrow. I think this one. This was even my introduction to the actor Tom Cruise. So you probably would know how special like this movie was to me. And I know there are some people who say that this movie was just all right. It's just I hear people say that this movie was just okay. It's nothing special. It was a step down from Ghost Protocol. Although yes, at the time it was praised as the best in the Mission Impossible franchise. But now people are just saying, yeah, it's just okay. I guess I mean, it didn't feel anything special. But yeah, at some yeah, it went back and forth between this and Ghost Protocol when it comes to my ranking. But yeah, but one thing's for sure, Christopher McQuarrie is the best Mission Impossible director. No competition. Sure, I'm a huge fan of Brad Bird. I like J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams back there before now he became like a crappy director who ruined Star Wars. But Christopher McQuarrie is pretty much the definitive director of the franchise. And after rewatching this movie today, I can say I still love this movie. I think this movie still holds up. When it comes to this franchise, I may have a couple of hot takes, like, for example, putting Dead Reckoning Part 1 as my number one favorite in the franchise. That's sort of a hot take because a lot of people seem to disagree, and some people are saying that it's one of the weaker Mission Impossible movies. Yeah, this movie is another one of my hot takes. I actually prefer this movie over Ghost Protocol. Yep, that's right. The Ghost Protocol. Yeah, I'm aware that it is one of the fan favorite installments in the franchise, but I actually prefer Rogue Nation over this one. Yeah, there's just I mean, yeah, and this movie shows that the franchise just keeps getting better and better and better. Although with the exception of the first two, since the first one was a far better than the second film, but starting with Mission Impossible 3, the franchise just kept on getting better and better and better with the issue installments, and I'm pretty sure Dead Reckoning Part 2 will be truly the greatest film of the franchise. Yeah, for sure. I'm already predicting that. And yeah, and that's actually why Mission Impossible is one of my favorite action franchises. I'm still more of a Bond fan than a Mission Impossible fan since I'm a little more passionate about Bond. But considering that no, we don't have a Bond movie yet, and the last Bond movie was like 2 years ago, I pretty much don't think about Mission Impossible more than Bond to this day. But I'm not gonna change my mind about calling Bond better than Mission Impossible. But yeah, then again, I think they're both just as good as one another. And I love that we actually got both a Mission Impossible movie and a Bond movie on the same year. Has that ever happened before? Like, I don't remember if there's ever been a year. Oh wait, yeah, 2006 with Casino Royale and Mission Impossible 3. Casino Royale wins. When it comes to this one, we got this, and the Bond movie this on that year was Spectre. And I know everyone is gonna say this movie is better, Mission Impossible wins, but in my personal opinion, I personally prefer Spectre slightly more. Yeah, Spectre is yeah, slightly more. Spectre is my personal favorite movie of 2015. I even prefer Kingsman: The Secret Service over this film. So therefore, Rogue Nation is probably my least favorite spy movie of 2015. But I mean, 2015 was one of the best years for the genre. No denying that. Even though I'm not really the biggest fan of 2015, to be honest. But yeah, Mission Impossible is certainly one of my favorite movies of 2015. Yeah, this Spectre, Mad Max Fury Road, and Kingsman are my favorite movies of 2015. Yeah, there is just so much to praise about this movie. Yeah, maybe I will say that Ghost Protocol is the better made film, and I do think the Burj Khalifa stunt is superior than any of the stunts in this film, like by a hair. But I would say I just enjoy this one more. Ghost Protocol may have some slow moments that were just a little bit slow, but this one was just very fast paced throughout from best to worst. While we watch, no, I mean fast paced from start to finish. I mean, while rewatching this movie, I noticed how this and how this and Dead Reckoning feel very similar to each other. Yeah, they both have something in common. Like, for example, Ilsa and Grace, they share very similar character traits. Grace is the better one to me. As you know, the more I think about it, Grace is honestly my favorite character in the entire franchise. Honestly, and I can't wait to see more of Grace in Dead Reckoning Part Two. And just like Ted Dragon Part 1, this feels very Bondian. Like, this feels like a Bond movie. And it's probably why I love it. Um, you know, this movie is just packed with everything you love in a spy movie. Yeah, of course, of course, the standout in this movie, the standout aspect is definitely action scenes. While they may be a bit of a step down from the Burj Khalifa stunt in Ghost Protocol, this movie still has some insane stunt. Like, for example, the infamous plane hang scene, which many consider to be the best opening scene in the franchise. To me personally, I would say that Ghost Protocol had my favorite opening in the franchise. If you remember, let me say that in my Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol review. But this one is kind of a close second. Yeah, I mean, I like, you know, this stunt. It's just awesome. See, you know, Tom Cruise just flying, like hanging on to a plane that's taking off without using any CGI and stuff. It just shows how far Tom Cruise has gone. Like when it comes to, you know, making his original stunts. It will certainly be in my top five favorite Mission Impossible stunts. But I still would say the motorcycle jump from Dead Reckoning would still be my favorite Mission Impossible stunt. This is, and honestly, and if you think that the plane hanging scene it is enough of an epic you know, stunt, there's actually a big stunt later on in the movie that I think is even better, and I'm talking about the underwater scene. It's a shame that not many people talk about the underwater scene. Yeah, when it comes to, you know, people just, you know, talking about what is their favorite stunt, no one talks about no one that talks about the underwater scene. Yeah, this is all on Mission Impossible. Like, this is pure Mission Impossible. And out of all the Mission Impossible movies, this is the one that lives up to this is the one that lives up to the Mission Impossible title the most. Yeah, because of how impossible the mission is. You know, the whole concept of just Tom Cruise just wanting to eradicate the syndicate. Yeah, and you get the line, "That's impossible." When you get that line, you know you're in for a treat here. And the underwater sequence is the definition of impossible. Like who on earth can thinks that a human being can be able to breathe underwater for 6 minutes, but somehow Tom Cruise can. Yeah, like, I mean, the plane hang is one stunt where Tom Cruise risks his life, but you know, you're more likely to die drowning underwater than hanging on a plane, and you know, pretty much the mission that happens underwater. Yeah, it's just epic. And actually talk about how gorgeous the cinematography is. Yeah, like the cinematography is gorgeous. Like you know, the opera scene, which I'll talk about the scene in a bit. Yeah, the whole shot of just Elsa just aiming for the henchman. Yeah, aiming her gun. Yeah, that is just a beautiful shot right there. The plane hand scene is a great shot, but of course, well, there's also the shot where Tom Cruise is about to dive. It's already become a classic at this point, a very iconic shot. When the whole shot just Tom Cruise diving underwater and pretty much, you know, trying to complete a mission for 6 minutes. Yeah, Tom Cruise almost drowns, like a legit dies in this one. Like that's actually why I prefer this over the plane hang scene, because in this plane hang scene, because in the plane hang scene, Tom Cruise never almost died. Like, he like instantly survived so quickly. But in this one, Tom Cruise was, you know, almost died, but then we got Ilsa saving his life. Yeah, like, way to go, Ilsa. Way to go, Ilsa. I can't wait to talk about her character later. And this movie is just it's just purely action packed throughout. even like when you got the plane hang scene, like the next scene of film, like maybe about 2 minutes after the plane hang scene, like there's already another action scene, another action scene. Now, specifically, we know Tom Cruise, just being hung by Solomon Lane's henchman, and then you got Elsa working with them, but at the same time, yeah, but at the same time, yeah, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Like Elsa just and then helping Ethan, yeah. Like there's just so much. Um, and then you got this epic motorcycle and car chase scene. Like in the desert. Yeah, that is one of my absolute favorite car chase scenes like ever. Not as good as the one in the road car chase scene in Dead Reckoning, but still an epic one. But to me personally, the standout moment in the film, my personal favorite scene in the film would have to be the opera scene. Yeah, pretty much the scene where the IMF were searching for Rebecca Ferguson, or Ilsa, knowing that she's in knowing that Ilsa is inside the opera, and then and Tom Cruise must pretty much just face like fight off a bunch of or a bunch of henchmen. But I think that is just super epic. It's pretty much a recreation of the opera scene in Quantum of Solace. Even though I really have a distaste towards Quantum of Solace, I think that the opera scene was excellent and without question the best scene in the film. But the Rogue Nation did it better. It's more entertaining and more epic. The opera scene, like the same opera like in the background makes the action scene just more epic. And as for recording is that the opera scene is stuck in my head right now. Like, and of course we got Elsa in that scene. Yeah, she pretty much just steals the show. Just yeah. First of all, her dress is drop dead gorgeous. Yeah, it's drop dead sexy. Yeah, and we see her just just shooting and we see her just just straight up shooting pretty much every shooting just all the armies, and yeah, and yes, let's talk about Elsa now. Yeah, she is without question my favorite character in the film, and this movie made me love Elsa as a character even more now. Yeah, I think Elsa has become one of my favorite characters in the film. I'm not sure where she ranks. I'm not sure where she ranks in my ranking list. It's between like I mean I can't really decide between her Sabine Moria from Ghost Protocol and the White Widow from Fallout and Dead Reckoning. I haven't decided that, but one thing's for sure. Grace and Paris would be my absolute favorite Mission Impossible characters. So I wouldn't say Ilsa is better than any of those two characters. Yes, than those two characters. Yeah. And I know Ilsa and Grace are very similar, so people would just call Grace just an Ilsa ripoff, and they just kill off Ilsa just to have Grace replace her. Yes, they do have some very similarities where they do have very similar character arcs where pretty much they both can't decide if they want to join the IMF or not, because you got Ethan Hunt Ethan Hunt recruiting them, and then they pretty much they just turn their backs on them. They just straight up betray them. And yeah, I'm sure you know where I'm going with this. Yeah, they just straight up betray them, and then they get back, and then like they really can't, like both characters know how the habit of not being able having a hard time deciding who they're gonna betray, the henchman or the main characters here. But I think Ilsa has done really good. If I can decide which movie Ilsa was better in, this or Dead Reckoning. I know people dislike her in Dead Reckoning because she barely had screen time, and she got killed off. But but I do think Ilsa like was kind of the heart of the movie. So it's hard for me to say which I like better. Which I like better. Ilsa from Ilsa from this movie or Ilsa in Ghost World. Dead Reckoning. Also, Ilsa in both movies got a chance to like just fight using a sharp weapon. In this movie, it's a knife, while in Dead Reckoning, it's a straight up sword. And this is by far Rebecca Ferguson's best performance. Best performance, yeah. I'm actually starting to become a lot more of a Rebecca Ferguson fan, and after seeing her in this film, I really want to check out Silo, that show Silo so badly. I want to check out that show. One of these days I will. And yeah, and also as for the other characters, Tom Tom Cruise is still Tom Cruise. I mean, what else do you expect from Ethan Hunt? He hangs on the plane. He is able to breathe underwater for 6 minutes and be able to survive. I mean, what else can you expect from this man? Luther and Brandon are great. Well, Brandon is another great character. As he is one of my favorite. He's in my top 10 favorite characters in the franchise. And this is pretty much Brandon's last movie. This is his final Mission Impossible movie, and it's sad to see him not being in the next few installments. But I understand why. I understand why he was not in the follow because of his contract with the MCU. But with Dead Reckoning, I kind of don't understand why he's not in it. It's not really a flaw in the movie though. I don't know. So at least you got Tom Cruise and some great female characters. But yeah. But but then there's also Benji, who, in my opinion, this is Benji at his best. I mean, I just love his quirky humor, and he pretty much has the best character. There's this scene where he was playing video games during where he was like secretly playing Halo on the Xbox in his work computer, and then when he saw that when he was able to sense that someone was that his manager was coming, or his manager was walking beside him, almost about to catch it. He quickly just exits the game and just hides everything. I actually relate to that. That is so me. That is so me. When I sneak to doing something that I'm not supposed to do, like for example watching movies at school, then someone's about to walk behind me and find out that I'm doing it. I instantly just hide it to pretend to work. That I totally related that scene. That scene is stuck in me right now. And also I really do enjoy a climax where Benji is pretty much just strapped around in a bomb and being controlled by Solomon Lane, and then Tom Cruise must pretty much confront Solomon Lane through Benji's eyes. Since Solomon's taking control of Benji's eyes, and he just tells Benji to let him go. To let him go and stop the bomb until and yeah, Tom Cruise literally just pays $5 million just to release that Benji. Yeah, that is a smart move right there. Although it can go wrong, as you know. Tom Cruise be like, I pay you $5 million to let Benji go. He lets him go, and then suddenly he just but someone just doesn't do what he asks and just lets Benji die. Yeah, that is very suspenseful. As you pretty much get worried for Benji. Yeah. Although I will say though that the final battle is the weakest thing about the film. Now don't get me wrong, it's a good final battle. It's a good final battle, but I don't think it's just one of the weaker final battles. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I just love the action scene, especially when it comes to Elsa and her knife fight. That steals the show, but I mean, I don't really feel it. I mean, compare that to the helicopter fight scene and the helicopter final battle in Fallout, and especially the train final battle in Dead Reckoning. Yeah, that one is just okay. It's fine, but it's good, but nothing really too. The final battle to me was nothing special. Is the flaw though? No. Maybe I would say it's 10% a nitpick, but otherwise, yeah. Also, I haven't really talked about the story yet. Great story. The plot is great, especially with how impossible the mission are. Like it's like what I said, this movie lives up to this title the most. That's pretty much the best credit I can give it for. And so the plot is basically them going on the most impossible mission. Even the plot synopsis says that this is the most impossible mission they've ever done, and it shows. So overall, Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation is far better than you think. I think this movie is a little bit underrated. Yes, this movie does have some fans, but others will say it's just okay and nothing special, and one of the weaker installments in the franchise. Um, and yes, this movie, I enjoy this movie more than Ghost Protocol. To be honest, it is certainly one of my favorite movies of 2015. I would say this is my third favorite Mission Impossible movie, behind Dead Reckoning Part One and Fallout. Yeah, and this movie just first shows how this franchise just keeps getting better and better and better. And when it comes to yeah, well, I don't know what I was gonna say, but anyways, I forgot what I was gonna say about that when it comes to. So yeah, let's get on with the rating. I'm gonna give this movie, well, easily a 10 out of 10. So for my review of Mission Impossible, no, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, what is your opinion on this movie? Do you agree with me that this is one of the best installments in the franchise, or are you with the people who think that this movie is just okay, but nothing too special, and one of the weaker films in the franchise? Um, and the question of, would you agree with me that this movie is slightly better than Ghost Protocol, or do you think this was a step down from Ghost Protocol? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my review of Mission Impossible Fallout for its 5th anniversary. So yeah, bye guys.